Some girls envy other girls because of so many things, some because of beauty, some because of hair, some because of the way boys rush them like moths to light. But Lola? Lola wished for everything: money, fame, attention, validation. But there was one particular thing she envied the most, one thing she believed separated her from the girls everyone admired: a flat Tommy. The kind girls flaunted confidently in crop tops, the kind that made rich boys freeze and stare. Lola believed her entire life would change if only her stomach would disappear into perfection. And that desire, that obsession, slowly grew into something darker. Because one day, she was broken, shattered, in a way she never imagined. All because she didn't have a flat Tommy. And when she finally found a solution to flatten it, she grabbed it with both hands. She didn't ask questions. She didn't consider the consequences. She didn't think twice. All she saw was the dream body she had always wanted. But what she didn't expect was how terrifying that solution became. And by the time reality finally hit her, by the time she understood what she had done to herself, it was already too late. Glamour State University, GSU, wasn't just a school. It was a fashion parade ground, a runway for fake lifestyles, a competition arena for attention. Girls walked around like Instagram models. Boys acted like millionaires even when their bank accounts were crying. Brands mattered. Curves mattered. Packaging was everything. And in the middle of this noisy campus was a Lola. Lola was beautiful, undeniably beautiful, with a face that could make anyone stare twice. But she lacked one thing the rich and hot boys on campus found irresistible in girls like her: a flat Tommy. Her stomach was round, noticeably round, and that one flaw ruined everything for her. It made her waist look wide instead of curvy, made dresses sit awkwardly on her, made her feel invisible beside girls who had the kind of body boys chased like bees chasing honey. Yet, in all of this, Lola carried herself with pride, arrogant, pompous, loud, always forming big girl, even though her entire lifestyle was built on a foundation of borrowed items and lies. But there was one thing no one could deny: Lola was academically brilliant. One afternoon, she strutted through the school gate wearing oversized sunglasses and a fake Prada bag she borrowed from her roommate. Her hips swung with confidence. Her shoes clicked loudly on the pavement. She didn't walk, she performed. A group of girls whispered as she passed. "Who is she forming for?" one asked. Another giggled. "Don't mind her. Too much pride, yet if you shake her upside down, nothing will fall." Lola heard them. She always heard things like that. But she never stopped walking like she owned the school. Yet, behind all that loud confidence, something always pricked her heart. That stomach. That stubborn, round stomach that refused to flatten. It didn't matter how she dressed, bodycon, high waist, corset, big gowns, her stomach always found a way to announce itself. Sometimes it pushed the fabric forward. Sometimes it formed a bulge in her pictures. Sometimes it made her look older than her age. Whenever she stood beside girls with curvy waists and flat tummies, she shrank inside. One day, as she and a friend walked through the hostel area, a convoy of rich boys pulled up in a white Benz and Lexus. The boys whistled, calling out to certain girls who had perfect shapes. None of them looked at Lola, not even one. Lola adjusted her wig quietly and pretended she didn't notice. Her friend squeezed her hand. "Don't mind them," she whispered. But Lola minded, deeply. Every night before bed, she stood in front of the mirror, holding her stomach with both hands. "Why can't you just go down?" she whispered sadly. "I would be perfect. I would be desirable. People will notice me." The more she wished, the more she hated her own body. She lived in constant comparison. "Look at her waist. See that girl's shape. Wow, guys rush her so much." Meanwhile, she, the girl with a pretty face, felt invisible. And those insecurities pushed her into faking her lifestyle. Fake designer bags, borrowed clothes, makeup she couldn't afford, slang she didn't understand, attitude she couldn't maintain. She wanted to belong among the hot girls of GSU, but her flat Tommy dream was becoming an obsession, and that obsession was about to lead her into her biggest heartbreak. It started on a Wednesday afternoon. Their lecturer had given the class a difficult mid-semester project. Everyone scattered into groups, discussing and scrambling for solutions. And among them was Jerome, one of GSU's hottest. The boy girls fought over, the boy who smelled like expensive perfume daily, the boy whose shoes alone could pay for 2 semesters, the boy that made girls lose their breath when he passed. He was tall, clean, handsome, the total campus package. He sat alone at the back of the class, frowning at his laptop, thinking of how to go over the hard project. Lola admired him secretly. She never thought he even knew she existed. But that day, something unexpected happened. Jerome looked up and asked, "Excuse me, do you understand this part of the assignment?" Lola froze. "Me?" She pointed to herself, confused. "Yes, you," he repeated with a smile. "You seem smart. Can you explain this section to me?" Lola's heart almost jumped out of her chest. She sat beside him, hands shaking lightly. For the next 30 minutes, she explained the project step by step. Jerome listened attentively. "Wow," he finally said. "You're really good. Thanks, Lola." Lola blinked. He knew her name. "You're welcome," she whispered shyly. He collected her number. She nearly fainted from joy. That night, she rolled on her bed, hugging her pillow, smiling endlessly. Her friends screamed with excitement. "Babe, Jerome talked to you? He collected your number? Ah, something is happening, oh." Within 1 week, she and Jerome chatted every day. "Good morning. How was class? Have you eaten?" Small, basic conversations that felt like heaven to her. Then one Friday evening, he did the impossible. As they met as usual, he whispered in a calm, enticing tone, "Lola, I like you. I want us to date." She screamed. Her roommates screamed. The hostel screamed. Lola felt like her destiny had opened. Jerome, her crush, the all-desired Jerome. He had chosen her. Or so she thought. From that day, she called him, "Baby, my love, honey." But something wasn't right. Something didn't quite add up, because every time Jerome replied, he never for once called her pet names too. He simply said, "Okay, Lola. Sure, Lola. No problem, Lola." No affection, no sweet names, no warmth. Still, she convinced herself, he's shy, he'll change, he loves me. And some things didn't make sense too. Jerome never walked with her openly on campus, never held her hand in public, never invited her to meet his friends, never took pictures with her, never acknowledged her during lectures. Every time he wanted to see her, he picked secret places, behind the cafeteria, near the old faculty block, in quiet corners where nobody passed. She asked once, "Why can't we meet somewhere normal? Somewhere people can see us?" Jerome smiled casually. "I just like privacy, nothing else." But her spirit whispered softly, "Something is not right." Still, Lola ignored the signs. She convinced herself that love was happening, that Jerome was truly hers, that her life was finally changing. She didn't know the worst was waiting right around the corner. Sharp, cold, and merciless. The sun was blazing that Wednesday afternoon. Lola's wig felt hot on her scalp, and all she wanted was to buy shawarma and return to her hostel to rest. She climbed the stairs near the science faculty with slow, tired steps. Students moved around, chatting loudly, laughing, flirting. Her mind was on food, and of course on Jerome. He hadn't replied her last message. She told herself, maybe he's busy. Then she turned to the corner and froze. Her legs stopped moving. Her lips parted slightly. Her heart punched her chest from inside. Jerome was standing under the giant fruit tree, but he wasn't alone. A girl stood with him, a short girl with no makeup, simple braids, simple gown. Her name was Mira. Lola recognized her from gossip around campus. Mira wasn't beautiful, not by GSU standards, but she had something that made boys pause and stare. A flat tummy, slim waist, and curves shaped like foreign cartoon drawings. Just then, as if life wanted to tear Lola's heart into pieces right in front of her. Jerome leaned closer, placed his hand on Mira's waist, and kissed her. A long, slow, romantic kiss. Not a mistake, not a greeting, not a joke, a relationship kiss. Lola's shawarma appetite died instantly. She felt heat rise to her face. Her hands shook, her throat dried. Jerome pulled away, smiling at Mira. He touched her cheek gently. He whispered something that made Mira giggle softly. Then he waved her goodbye like they had done it 100 times. Lola's heart couldn't take it. She marched forward, voice trembling. Jerome! Jerome, are you serious right now? This is what you're doing behind my back? Jerome turned casually, as if he expected her, as if he had prepared his mind. No shock, no guilt, no hiding, just a sigh. A deep, exhausting sigh. Lola, calm down. What do you mean, calm down? You kissed someone else. Jerome rubbed his forehead like she was stressing him. Then he dropped a bomb that she wasn't expecting and hadn't seen coming. There's nothing going on between us, he said coldly. Lola staggered. Her mouth opened slightly. It felt like someone poured cold water down her spine. What? What did you just say? We are dating. He looked at her the way people look at children who don't understand reality. No, Lola. You were dating me. I never dated you. Her ears rang. Her vision blurred. Jerome, you're not serious, right? After everything? After all this while we spent together? He shrugged without remorse. No, Lola. There had been no we. I only stuck around because of the project. Now that it's done, all this is over. Lola felt the ground moving beneath her feet. So everything was fake? All the chats? The meetings? Everything I thought we had was fake? Jerome scoffed, stepped slightly aside to avoid her shadow falling on him. Please, Lola, don't embarrass me in public. Then he dropped the sentence that scattered her confidence like broken glass. Look at yourself. I cannot date someone with your kind of body. That big Tommy? I can't even introduce you to my friends. I only date girls with shape, flat Tommy, curves, and confidence. Not this. Lola pressed a hand against her stomach unconsciously. Jerome raised his backpack and moved to walk past her. Do yourself a favor and forget anything you thought was happening between us. And just like that, he walked away, without looking back, without checking if she was okay, without guilt. Lola's knees softened. She dropped onto the bench beside her. Tears flowed uncontrollably. Her chest hurt. Her pride crumbled. Her ego died. Her self-esteem turned to ashes. She whispered to herself through tears, "So because of my stomach, I'm not good enough?" She compared herself to Mira over and over, her voice cracking. I'm prettier than her, but my shape, my stomach. One thing became painfully clear. Her stomach destroyed everything. The heartbreak swallowed her like an ocean. She stopped attending classes, stopped replying messages, stopped doing makeup, stopped smiling. The once proud girl lay on her hostel bed for hours, replaying Jerome's words. Look at your body, that big Tommy. The sentence stabbed her again at 2 a.m. It stabbed her again at 3 p.m. It stabbed her every time she saw girls on campus with flat stomachs. At the cafeteria, girls lifted their crop tops confidently. At lecture halls, girls posed for pictures with curvy silhouettes. At hostel lines, girls washed and sun-dried waist trainers. At parties, girls with flat stomachs danced at the center, boys cheering them. Lola watched quietly from corners. She was pretty. But beauty without shape didn't matter here. One evening, she sat alone behind the hostel, hugging her knees, crying silently. "I can't continue like this. I can't keep looking like this." She wiped her tears aggressively. "I will get a flat tummy, no matter what it costs me." She made up her mind. But there was a problem. And the problem? She couldn't afford surgery. Her allowance was already too small to maintain her fake lifestyle, so she turned to the next available solution: herbal flat tummy mixtures. GSU was full of vendors shouting, "Flat tummy in 7 days! Burn belly fat fast! Guaranteed slim waist! No exercise needed! Herbs specially made for stubborn belly fat." Lola found one girl selling the mixtures behind the hostel, a tall green bottle, with strange floating particles inside, cheap, suspicious, smelling strange. Lola didn't even ask questions. "How much?" 2,000. She paid immediately. She carried the bottle to her room with the excitement of a child holding Christmas gift. That night, she drank it before bed. The next morning, she drank it again. And surprisingly, for the first few days, it worked. Her stomach reduced fast. Way too fast. She felt light. Her tummy didn't push out as much. Her dresses fit better. She began posting selfies on WhatsApp again. "Finally! Flat tummy gang!" she bragged. The confidence she lost returned. She felt powerful, desired, pretty. But then, her stomach kept going down. Beyond normal, beyond healthy, beyond human. One morning, while standing in front of the mirror, she lifted her shirt and gasped. Her stomach had begun to sink inward, not flat, sunken, like someone pressed it into her body. Her waist curved too sharply. Her ribs started showing. Her skin stretched strangely. At that moment, her roommate walked in. "Lola, what's happening to your stomach?" she asked, shocked. "Nothing," Lola replied sharply. "It's working. Don't be jealous." But her roommate wasn't convinced. "Why does it look like your waist is collapsing?" Lola ignored her. But the pain came next. A twisting, burning pain from inside her stomach. Sometimes she bent over and groaned. Sometimes she couldn't sleep because her belly throbbed. Sometimes her stomach swelled big like she was pregnant. Sometimes it shrank into a hollow. Something was moving inside. Something wasn't right. But Lola didn't stop the mixture. She wanted her flat tummy dream so badly, and she refused to see the nightmare forming beneath her skin. Until something deadly happened. 2 weeks after she began the herbs, the miracle turned into a monster. Her stomach no longer looked like a human stomach. It was bending inward unnaturally, her waist folded strangely. Her ribs pushed out. Her skin became paper-thin around her belly. Walking became painful. Laughing hurt. Breathing felt heavy. Then came the real horror. One morning, she screamed in the bathroom, "Ah! My stomach! My stomach! Something is moving!" Her roommates rushed in. They found her holding her belly, shaking violently. "My stomach is burning! Something is inside! Help me! Help!" They helped carry her up, took her inside, and advised her to go see a doctor. But Lola still refused. She refused to even visit the clinic. She masked her fear with pride. "I'm fine. Don't exaggerate." But the damage continued. She felt stabbing cramps, internal heat, crawling sensations, swelling and shrinking, hardness around her belly. People stared when she walked. Some whispered, some pointed, but Lola still forced a smile. "Don't be jealous," she bragged weakly. "I'm becoming perfect. I'm about to have a slim waist, and by the time I do, everyone will kiss my feet." Her friends pleaded, "Lola, please stop this thing. This is dangerous. You don't look okay." But she ignored them, until the day her body finally gave up, and the mixture's true damage revealed itself, in the most terrifying way. That afternoon was one of the hottest afternoons in Glamour State University. The sun was high, the air felt heavy, and students scattered around the field like colorful ants heading to different destinations. Lola was walking slowly, pressing her phone, trying to distract herself from the strange twisting in her stomach. For the past 3 nights, she had barely slept. Her belly had been burning, swelling, shrinking, twisting, doing things a human stomach should never do. But she ignored it. She kept telling herself, "It's just the herbs working. Beauty is pain. It's normal." Until a pain like lightning struck through her abdomen. "Ah!" She screamed loudly. Her phone dropped. Her bag fell from her shoulder. The pain shot through her again, sharp, hot, and tearing. She grabbed her stomach and fell to her knees on the carpet grass. Students looked back immediately. "Jesus, who is that?" Someone fainted. "Call the clinic. Help her!" Lola tried to cry for help, but her voice was cracked and weak. "My stomach, it's tearing. Somebody, help me. Please!" Her legs shook uncontrollably. Sweat poured from her forehead even though the wind was blowing. Her eyes rolled upward as she clutched her belly. 2 girls from her department, her roommates, ran toward her, screaming, "Lola! Lola, what's happening? Talk to us. What did you take?" Lola couldn't answer. Tears streamed down her face as she whispered, "It's burning. Inside. It's breaking. Something is moving." The girls shouted for help, and 2 boys rushed forward to lift her. They half-carried, half-dragged her to the campus clinic. By the time they laid her on the clinic bed, Lola was trembling violently. The nurse hurried in, pulled up her gown, and gasped, "Jesus Christ! What am I looking at?" Lola's stomach was not flat. It was sunken in the middle like someone pressed a hand deep inside her, but the sides were swollen abnormally, round, uneven, almost like internal lumps pushing out. The skin looked stretched and unnatural. "Doctor!" the nurse screamed. Lola's vision blurred. She reached toward the nurse with shaking fingers. "I can't breathe." Then she fainted, the room filled with chaos. "Check her pulse. She's burning up. Start an IV line. Get the doctor now." The doctor rushed in, his eyes widened at the sight. "What happened to her?" he asked. "We don't know, sir. She collapsed on the field." He examined her, pressing lightly around her stomach. Lola twitched and groaned even in unconsciousness. "This is serious internal damage," he muttered. "This is not normal weight loss. Something burned her stomach lining." When Lola opened her eyes again, she was in a hospital bed connected to tubes. Her throat felt dry. Her head was heavy. The doctor sat beside her. Then he began calmly. "Miss Lola," he said gently, "your stomach didn't flatten. It collapsed." Lola's heart dropped. "What? What do you mean?" "What did you take?" he asked firmly. "Be honest with me." Tears filled her eyes instantly. I took herbal medicine. Something for flat tummy. I didn't know. I just wanted to look beautiful." She burst into tears. The doctor closed his eyes briefly, shaking his head. "This thing you took nearly destroyed your stomach wall. Your intestine was affected. Your muscles were collapsing. If you had come 1 week later, you might not be alive right now." At that moment, Lola covered her face with shaking hands. Her world shattered. The flat tummy she wanted, the body she dreamed of, almost cost her life. And she sobbed uncontrollably. News traveled fast. Someone had called Lola's mother that her daughter was in the hospital. By evening, the door burst open, and a woman rushed in, eyes swollen, wrapper tied carelessly around her waist. "Lola! Lola, my child!" She ran to the bed, fell beside Lola, and gathered her in her arms. "Why?" she sobbed loudly. "What have you done to yourself? Lola, why?" Lola couldn't hold back anymore. "Mommy," she cried, "I didn't know. I didn't think. I just wanted a flat tummy." Her mother pulled back, holding her face with trembling hands. Flat Tommy? You almost died because of Flat Tommy? Is that what your life has become? Is that what we sent you to come and do in school? Mummy, I'm sorry. Lola sobbed harder. Her tears fell freely, wetting the bedsheet. I just wanted to feel beautiful. Everyone thought I was not good enough. I thought if I didn't look like other girls, I had no value. Her mother shook her head slowly and painfully. Lola, a girl who allows society to define her worth will never know peace. Her words pierced the room like a knife. She wiped Lola's tears gently. You are fighting the wrong enemy, her mother whispered. The real enemy is the voice telling you that you are not enough. You're beautiful. God knows why He created everyone the way we are. Lola cried even harder, burying her face in her mother's lap. Her mother held her, rocking her like a child. Don't ever cut your life short because you want to impress people who don't care if you live or die. You hear me? Her mother added. Lola nodded. For the first time, she fully understood, and the weight of her decisions crushed her chest. By the third week, Lola could walk slowly. Her stomach still looked strange, sunken in some areas, swollen in others, but the doctor said healing would take time. Students who passed by whispered, "That's the girl who drank fake Flat Tommy mixture." Her stomach nearly spoiled completely. Fine girl like this. See what pressure caused. Some laughed, some pitied her, some blamed her, but Lola ignored them. She had no strength left for shame. One breezy afternoon, she sat on a bench outside the ward, sipping water, watching the sky. Her mind drifted again to Jerome, Mira, her past self, and everything she lost chasing validation. Then she heard two familiar voices laughing. She looked up, and her breath caught. Jerome was walking toward the clinic corridor with Mira by his side. They were smiling, holding hands, laughing like the world was perfect. Mira's dress hugged her small waist beautifully. Her flat stomach was obvious, the kind Lola once prayed to have. Jerome whispered something in Mira's ear. She giggled softly and leaned into him. They were the perfect campus couple. Lola sat still, frozen. Her heart squeezed softly, not with jealousy, but with realization. This was the style of people she almost died for. Jerome's eyes brushed past her for half a second. She knew he saw her, but he walked on. No greeting, no pause, no sorry, not even eye contact. She was invisible, a stranger, a forgettable girl. For a moment, tears gathered in Lola's eyes, but then she inhaled deeply, then exhaled slowly, and something inside her shifted. She whispered to herself, I almost died, for someone who can't even slow down to look at me. A calmness washed over her, a pure, painful, honest realization. She had risked her life for a world that didn't care whether she lived or died. She stood up slowly, placed her palm on her healing stomach, and whispered, I will never do this to myself again. And for the first time in years, she meant it. Healing was not a straight line for her. Some days she woke up feeling hopeful, grateful to be alive. Other days, she stared at her stomach in the mirror and cried until her pillow was soaked. The doctor had warned her gently, your stomach will heal, but it will never go back to the way it was. You will carry internal scars for life. Those words broke her. For almost a week, she barely spoke. She didn't eat. She just lay on her hostel bunk staring at the ceiling. Fellow students whispered, God save this girl. She almost died because of a boy. Flat Tommy almost sent her to early grave. But slowly, gradually, something inside her began to shift. One morning, she sat up on her bed, wiped her face, and whispered, no more pretending, no more fake life. If I'm going to start again, I'll start as me. It was the first decision she made from a place of truth, and from that day forward, everything changed. She stopped faking her lifestyle. No more pretending to be what she wasn't. No more borrowing clothes. No more fake accents and forced slangs. No more lying about restaurants she never visited or vacations she never went on. She stopped buying counterfeit designer bags from the campus market. Stopped wearing wigs that made her scalp itch. Stopped using heavy filters to reshape her face. She began seeing herself, really seeing herself, for the first time. And it hurt. But it was healing. She cut off everyone who fed. Her insecurities. Toxic friends? Blocked. Friends who only wanted to pepper others on social media? Removed. Friends who laughed at her stomach? Deleted. Friends who made her feel she wasn't enough? Gone. She unfollowed every flat tummy vendor on Instagram, unfollowed every influencer who made her feel less than, unfollowed every perfect body page that once controlled her self-esteem. Her circle reduced, but her peace increased. She cut off Jerome completely. Everywhere, Instagram, WhatsApp, TikTok, Snapchat, blocked. She erased his number, his pictures, and the voice notes she once replayed at night. Jerome became a ghost, not the kind that haunts you, but the kind you choose never to resurrect again. Lola chose real healing. She started therapy sessions offered free on campus. In therapy, she cried. She confessed things she had never told anyone. I hated myself. I never felt beautiful. I thought my body was my enemy. I thought love was something I had to earn with looks and a fake lifestyle. The therapist told her gently, "You don't need to change your body to deserve love, my dear. You only need to change the voice inside you that tells you you're unworthy." And those words rewrote Lola's heart. She also joined a fitness club, but not for flat Tommy, not for attention, not for boys. She joined to get stronger, to feel alive again, to reclaim her body in a healthy way, and slowly, with sweat and tears and determination, she rebuilt her confidence, the real confidence, the one that comes from acceptance, not imitation. She stood beside the mirror one afternoon, touched her scarred stomach gently, and whispered, "You may not be perfect, but you are mine, and I'm done fighting you." Truly, that was the beginning of her rebirth. Weeks passed. She became quieter, calmer, and more focused. She spent evenings reading novels outside her hostel. She smiled more softly, no longer to impress anyone but because she was finally at peace. One cool evening, as the campus breeze brushed her cheeks, her phone buzzed. It was a message from an unknown number. She opened it and it read, "Hi Lola, it's Jerome. I've been hearing about your recovery. If you're free, maybe we can hang out sometime." Lola froze. She stared at the screen for a long moment. The same Jerome who mocked her body. The same Jerome who used her for schoolwork. The same Jerome who kissed another girl in front of her. The same boy who shattered her confidence and almost pushed her into an early grave. Her heart didn't race this time. Her hands didn't shake. Instead, she felt a strange calmness, a calmness that came from strength. She looked at the message again, then typed slowly, "No thank you. I don't do trash twice." She hit send, then blocked the number. No tears, no shaking, no regret. She leaned back on the bench, closed her eyes, and smiled for the first time in a very long time. That was the true healing, not hospital healing, not physical healing, not stomach healing. Emotional healing, self-worth healing, identity healing, the kind of healing no pride, no fake lifestyle, no mixture, no surgery, no validation could ever give. And that evening, as the sun melted into the horizon, Lola whispered, "I survived myself, and that's enough." Moral of this story. Besties, hear this one very well, because Lola's story is a mirror. Not everything trending is safe. Social media will sell you perfection, but behind the scenes, pain hides. Herbal mixtures are not miracle drugs. Most of them are poison wrapped in promises. In this life, some people will break your confidence just to boost their own ego, but please remember, their weakness should never become your identity. Your body is not your enemy. Your insecurity is. Beauty is not pain. Beauty should never risk your life. And if someone doesn't love you as you are, they won't love the perfect version of you either. Learn from Lola. She almost died trying to look like girls who didn't even know she existed. She risked her life for a boy who couldn't see her value. She handed her self-worth to strangers competing on social media. And she regretted it deeply before she retraced her steps. Listen well. Don't let society pressure you into harming yourself. Don't let Instagram define your beauty. And to our young women, don't let one boy's opinion destroy your confidence. Your body is your home. Take care of it. Protect it. Love it. Respect it. Because the world will always set impossible standards. But your life is far more important than someone else's idea of beauty. Did Lola's story touch you? Do you think society pressures girls too much about body image? Have you ever wanted to change a part of your body because of someone's comment or comparison? Do you think Lola deserved better? What else do you think she could have done differently? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to African Tales by Imade for more emotional, powerful, life-changing stories like this. See you in the next one.